The task facing Justin is near impossible. He's completely unprepared for the freezing night that looms ahead. And between him and the nearest town are miles of mountains and waist-deep snow.
I knew that that probably wasn't doable before dark. But I would have to keep moving because otherwise I was probably going to freeze to death.
There are just 3 hours of daylight left. And Justin is already tiring. But if he doesn't find help soon, he and his friends are at serious risk from hypothermia.
I was maybe going, a 1.5 miles an hour, maybe, something like that. I wasn't going very fast.
But then, Justin spots a possible lifeline.
I could see a creek. For the most part, it was 6 to 8 inches deep, so it was easier for me to walk down the creek bed, and I could make better time than I could walking on the banks.
The water in the creek is freezing, and the longer Justin spends in this extreme cold, in wet, lightweight clothes, the more he risks hypothermia. But it's his only hope of getting help before nightfall.
To get into the creek was a very difficult decision to make. But I had to get them the help that they needed. And then once I got into the creek, I started running. I thought to myself, if I hurt myself significantly, I wasn't gonna make it out. Nobody knew where I was, and especially now, I was a long ways from my friends and from the wreck. So you can't run. You sprain an ankle and you die.
Justin is still miles from the nearest town of Durango. The freezing water is starting to take its toll.
I would say that it was probably as much or more emotionally draining as it was physically draining. I mean, I was wet to, probably mid-thigh, and I'd even fallen down a couple times, and so I was pretty wet.
Justin can't stay in the creek much longer. Every minute the temperature drops, his chances of getting hypothermia increase. With just 1 hour of daylight left, he has to find another way of getting help. He has a mobile phone with him, but in this mountain wilderness, he can't get a signal.
I made a conscious decision that I would walk for an hour and try the phone. Walk for an hour and try the phone. You could see a clearing 1/4 mile away, give or take, something like that, up the hill.
The higher ground might allow Justin to find an all-important signal. But to get there, he will have to use his last reserves of energy.
And when I got to the top, I actually had an actual bar. I made a call. It didn't work. I could hear them, but they couldn't hear me. I was really distraught over that because we're so close. That was the only time that I really thought somebody's gonna die.
Miles away, Justin Kirkbride is trying to use his mobile phone to alert the rescue services. But he just can't get a strong enough signal.
I ran up the hill, and then I called again.
The heat makes hiking slow, and after a few miles, the trail becomes hard to follow. By mid-afternoon, Linda is still miles from the Supai village.
I heard sound behind me, and when I looked around, I saw that it was a mule train. And I think I had read something to the effect that that's how all the food and how their mail is transported down into this Indian reservation. The dog started barking, and I was concerned because I knew that, this was the Indians' territory, and I didn't want to cause any problems, so we held up, and I let them ride on by.
But as the afternoon draws on, the trail appears endless.
As I kept walking, I noticed that the sun was starting to go down.
With the light beginning to fade, Linda knows she has to get to the Indian village before nightfall. And as she reaches the end of the trail,
there was a sign.
You can make your way down to the Supai village, and the falls are right down there.
But the sign was not well marked. I didn't know whether or not to make a right or a left.
one way leads towards the waterfalls and the safety of the Indian village. The other out into the vast wilderness of the Grand Canyon.
For some reason, I made a right-hand turn.
Thinking she's heading towards the village, Linda heads off with Coco. But after yet another hour of walking, there's still no sign of life.
At that point, I was beginning to feel that I should probably be close by.
Coco!
With night approaching, Linda knows that it's too late to go back to the junction and try the left-hand turn. She has no option but to keep going. If she doesn't make it to the Indian village before dark, she'll be stranded in the middle of nowhere.
In the canyon, nighttime comes very quickly because of the walls. It would be pitch black down there, and I wouldn't be able to see. As I kept hiking and the sun was going down, that became a major concern.
Linda's backpack weighs over 20 pounds and is slowing her down.
I knew I could make better time without it because it was beginning to feel very heavy on my back.
Ditching the backpack will mean leaving behind her sleeping bag, food, and only supply of water.
I would have nothing except, the clothes that I had on my back and a few items that I had in my purse.
With no experience of being out in the wild, Linda makes a terrible decision.
I thought I could always come back for it the following morning.
Coco!
Even at 7 in the morning, the sun is wearing them down.
We knew it was going to be hot, real hot. Not what most people in civilized countries are used to. Not your 85, 90 degrees. Try between 115 and 118 degrees.
It's particularly tough on the kids. Their lower body weight means they get dehydrated quicker.
Oh, honey.
Oh, every 20 feet, Everybody's sipping water, and I'm noticing that there's only one small sports drink bottle left.
Hey, take it easy, Tiff. We gotta make it last.
Tiffany, was already done had enough. And I says, well, let's just get to the Bronco. We'll find the jack and we'll get out of here.
Here goes. We're ahead.
The combination of extreme heat and having to stop for the kids means it takes them 5 hours to walk just 4 miles to the Bronco.
Okay? You just have a nice long rest. Roger will find the tool.
We started going through everything. Lifting everything up, thinking there's got to be jack in here.
Damn it!
Anything?
Nope.
When there wasn't a jack, I think everybody was like, what are we gonna do?
Roger, Shelley, and the 2 girls are now in serious trouble.
How much water do we have?
We had like 3 inches of water in that Gatorade bottle.
With almost no water, Roger knows if he's to get his new family out of trouble, he needs to take drastic action.
You stay with them, and I'll go get help.
Y'all need to stay in the shade and just count on the fact that I'm gonna get back here, because I knew I could make a lot quicker time by myself.
It was the right decision.
I'm gonna go get us some help, and
Leaving is hard,
before you know it, I promise.
but they're miles from civilization, and he fears the kids won't be able to keep going.
I love you girls.
Probably the toughest thing that I've ever done in my whole life.
I'll be back before you know it. All right?
Give everybody a kiss, and I started on a slow jog, actually.
He was feeling very guilty. I mean, when he walked away from us, he almost was running. And I'm thinking, you can't do this in the heat.
Roger's best chance of help is to find a main road, but he has no idea where he's going. And after just half an hour, he's feeling the effects of the 118-degree heat.
It was not so bad at first, but boy, then you realize that you'd better not be breathing through your mouth anymore, because with every breath of that hot air that you're taking in, you're losing that much moisture in your mouth.
Roger has been following the only path in the vast wilderness of the desert. Now, as he stumbles to a junction, he's faced with a choice. One way leads out, the other takes him deeper into the desert.
There's not much tire tracks. I'm thinking to myself, this definitely is not the way out.
Roger chooses the path with more tracks. With Shelley and the girls depending on him, he can only pray he's made the right decision.
I told you it was awesome. Hey, you feeling better? Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful red rock. It's smooth. And once you get down into the slots of the canyon is when it becomes even more beautiful.
I just remember how quiet it was. And it was kind of exhilarating to pass by all of these high walls of the Red Rock Canyon and walk through areas that you don't know how long it's been since a human's been through there, so it was kind of amazing.
I mean, the canyon's kind of like it's a maze. There are places that it just winds around. There are places that are so tight that you have to turn sideways to get through.
Yeah.
We took a picture of the three of us when we got to this point where we got down to the bottom of the canyon. We felt that we were at the bottom at least, finally.
The main thing I love about canyoneering is getting out to where there aren't as many people. I just loved being somewhat isolated in a place that no one had been, and to me, just being deep in the slot canyons where the walls are narrow and twisting, and the light and just the scenery and all the things that you can only see and you can only do by going canyoneering. That's what really appealed to me.
It's just an incredible, I mean, I don't know if you can call a place both beautiful and dangerous at the same time, but it was just so, I was in awe.
But the beauty of the canyons can distract even the wary from the dangers that lie within. The canyon offers a variety of routes, from the very easy to the virtually impossible. And soon Ben faces a choice.
You okay? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. No, but look. The GPS is saying a little further on.
I was using the GPS, but I was also using a description that we had printed off the internet. It talked about a shallow down climb that led into the bottom of the sandy canyon. The GPS said we needed to go 90 feet farther, but what I was seeing right in front of me was exactly like the description.
Yeah.
So having never used the GPS before, I thought that I knew better. So I thought, this matches the description. I'm going to go down here.
Okay. Come on.
The friends have made a critical error. By ignoring the GPS, they've missed their trail. They're now entering the canyon's most technically difficult route.
Once we started down the canyon, the walls started to climb and get higher and closer and closer. And for me, it was exactly what I'd hoped for. It was exciting. I was in heaven. I was having the time of my life.
Come on, guys! Guys! Come on!
Guys, wait for me!
They don't know it yet. But the three friends are at the entrance to one of the narrowest canyons in the world. Jason is worried. The route Ben suggested shouldn't be this extreme.
I continued to enjoy it as we got deeper down into the slot, and it got darker, and in some places we couldn't even see the sky. And it was amazing to me.
The canyon got narrower and narrower.
Hey, Ben.
Yeah?
I started to get nervous about whether or not we'd chosen the right spot.
Look, we'll get through here, and then we're back on the wider path, okay? Come on.
The canyon is so narrow, it's not long before they have to leave the safety of solid ground. Now they use a technique called stemming.
You You put your knees up against one wall and your backside up against the next, and you kind of shimmy your way until you can get to another spot.
Located in the center of the island, the ruins are surrounded by hundreds of kilometers of thick, impenetrable jungle.
At that time, there wasn't any signs, there wasn't any markers, and it was pretty grown up.
Ken is determined to find the ruin pictured on his ticket receipt. But he's having no luck, so he decides to head back.
I need to get back. Catherine's hot. She needs to leave. We need to go back and get something to drink.
But it's not as easy as he thinks. All the paths look the same.
So I crossed. You got another intersection, then another intersection. It became a little confusing about which fork of this I was taking, so I began to explore off this branch, and I would come to the next intersection, and this is not familiar.
The network of Mayan pathways that centuries ago linked one building to the next is now an overgrown maze. And Ken is lost in the middle of it.
I'm sorry, guys. This is really unlike Ken.
Half hour goes by, 45 minutes go by. Now my intuition's kicking in. It's going, there's something wrong. Ken's not like this. This is out of his character.
The sun's directly overhead. I have no sense of direction, what's east, west, north, south. And now I'm really starting to get charged up. I need to rely on a little bit of adrenaline to get me where I need to go. And at that point, that was a state of panic.
Then all of a sudden, an hour goes by, an hour and a half, and I said, that's it. There's something wrong here.
Kathy!
We don't hear him. So I said, let's go back to the entrance. Maybe he's waiting for us back there.
What was that?
Then I heard this real faint call.
That's Ken. That's gotta be him. Ken! Ken, we're over here!
Kathy!
And I said, you guys hear that? And they said, no, what? And I said, just listen. Let's just sit here for a minute. Just listen. So we all listened. And then all of a sudden we heard that call. I said, see, did you hear that? Yeah, I did. Call back. I know that's Ken. He's lost.
I heard him call back.
Thinking he can make out the direction of Kathy's voice, Ken makes a fatal error.
And made the decision to leave the paths and go straight through the jungle to where I heard the noise.
Ken thinks he's heading straight for Kathy. But he's been deceived. The thick jungle has distorted her screams. And every step he takes is leading him away from her and deeper into Cozumel's dark heart.
Kathy!
Kathy can no longer hear Ken's cries.
And now I'm really concerned. He's lost. He's going further away.
So whenever I didn't hear a response from the last call, it really gave a sort of sinking feeling.
Kathy!
He's hopelessly lost in one of the deadliest environments on Earth. In just 3 hours, it will be dark, and Ken will have to confront the terrors of the jungle at night.